Greetings, and thanks again for joining the Frugal Farmers Network. Today we're going to do another low-cost, no-cost type project, and today's project is going to be building raised garden beds out of 100% reclaimed pallet wood. For today's project we're going to be using a total of 12 3-foot planks for our project. We're going to be using 6-inch scabs, and I'm going to be using 4 3-inch scabs, and I'll show you all this as we go through the process. But let me go ahead and get the table set up, and we'll go ahead and proceed with the project, and you'll see just how simple this project is. Well, let's get started on today's project, but before we actually get started into the pounding of nails and lining everything up, I want to point out the work table that I'm using today. I went ahead and I set up a rail along the back side of my work table and one on the side, and that's going to facilitate lining all my boards up, and it's going to make the project a whole lot easier. I'm going to be building about 35 of these raised beds this year, so anything I can do to expedite the process is certainly going to be a big bonus for me. But let me go ahead and point out that the beds that I'm going to be building today are going to be 6 foot long by 3 foot wide. So I'm going to need, for my side boards, I'm going to need a total of 4 just for one side board. And as you can see, I'm lining everything up, getting it good and flush. And then once I get my boards lined up like this, then I need to go ahead and put my center scab in there, and that's going to be one of the 6-inch boards. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to be able to line that up right in the center. Now there's a little bit of a gap in the board right there. Don't worry about the gaps, because the scabs are going to fill that in. But what I want to be able to do is I just want to be able to tack this thing together, and I'm going to be pounding a few nails in here, so let's get started. Okay, I'll go ahead and point out that I'm using 2-inch nails because the boards are 1 inch each. Give me about 2 inches. I'm going to go ahead and finish up pounding these nails, and I'll show you the next step in the process. Okay, so we got our center scab all nailed in now. Now we need to work on the 2 ends to be able to firm those up real good. And what I do is I just take one of the boards to give me a reference point, because this is how we're going to line everything up. And I'll go ahead and I'll line that up there, and then I'll simply put this scab on this end, and then we'll go ahead and put the other scab over here on the other end, and then we'll go ahead and we'll get this nailed up. Okay, so now we got our center scab all nailed down. We got our 2 side scabs nailed down. This is going to be the inside part of our side rail for the raised bed. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to simply take this, flip the whole assembly over here, and we'll go ahead and line it up. And then I simply put the back scab on it. And we'll go ahead and we'll nail this one down. Okay, so now we got one of the side rails built. As you can see from the bottom here, we have a scab on each end, and then we have 2 scabs, and that gives us a lot of stability on these two planks here, or actually 4 planks. But we're going to go ahead for each of our raised beds. We're going to make 2 of these, and we're going to make 2 of the end caps. And I'll show you how I do that right now. Okay, so let's put together one of our end caps here. These are going to be 3 foot long, and we'll go ahead and we'll slide that in on the table. Slide our second board in on the table, and it looks like we're all lined up. And then we're just going to use one of the 6-inch scabs here, And on my work table, I went ahead and I made markings exactly center on this, so it's going to be a no-brainer for me. I don't have to sit there with the tape measure and measure everything out. The jig is already set up, so I've got that lined up pretty good. And we'll pound a few more nails. Okay, so now we got a complete side rail here with one scab, and we're going to build for each one of the raised beds. We're going to build 2 of these, and those are going to serve as the end caps. So now I've got 2 of the end caps and 2 of the side rails built. So let's go on out to the garden and we'll put the thing together. Okay, so let's finish up the process here. I've already got 3 of my boards already laid out, and I've already got them screwed together, but I wanted to show you how I set this up. Now, remember on the 2 end scabs how I measured those boards out with the little cleat here? And I went ahead and I did that for a reason, because the side rails are going to fit right into that slot right there. And it's going to be sweet because everything's going to line right up on both sides. And I've already gone ahead and pre-drilled my holes, but I'm going to take 2-inch deck screws. Now these are coated deck screws, and they're rust resistant, so I'm going to go ahead, get my screws started. I'm going to line everything up, make sure we're good and tight, flush, square all the way around. And we are good to go. So, simple process. As you can see behind me, there's a few more already built. In another video, I'm going to go ahead and explain the process of how I fill these raised beds up to get them ready to grow some produce. Okay, so let's wrap things up today. As you can see, I now have a 6-foot by 3-foot raised garden bed for a grand total cost of $0, with the exception of a few nails and screws. I'm estimating probably 3 to 5 years out of this solid oak pallet wood that I got. And I will mention that the pallet wood that I'm getting is not chemically treated at all. There's no preservatives in it. It's a one-time use pallet, so we don't have to worry about chemicals leaching into the food. As you can see, this is another low-cost, no-cost project. We do invite you to join us on our Facebook page. Just go out and look for Frugal Farmers. We got a lot of great discussion, a lot of good dialogue going on. And certainly if you do like this video, click the subscribe button. Give us some feedback if you like it or if you don't like it. And certainly if you desire for us to do any future videos, please let us know, and we'll go ahead and we'll work it into the schedule. But we can't thank you enough for tuning in today, and have a wonderful day.